Between the time you get nominated and between the big night, you torture yourself for weeks, literally torture, because on the one hand, you don't want to let yourself get too invested in the idea of winning, but you also want to enjoy it. I had a ratio where I would allow myself to imagine the fantasy of winning about 1/4 of the time. And the other 3/4 of the time, if I was thinking about it, I would literally force myself to imagine losing. I sort of trained myself for the worst outcome, but allowed myself periodically as a little reward to imagine the best outcome.
John Knoll, Hal Hickel, Charles Gibson, and Alan Hall for the Pirates of Caribbean.
When they call your name, it's surreal, like everyone says. You just try to not trip and fall as you get to the stage. I did get a little shout out to my son, Lex. He and I had done a little pinky promise that he'd think good thoughts for Dad.
My son, Lex Addison, the pinky promise worked. Okay, bud, thanks very much. I love you.
It's a whirlwind. They take you backstage to sign papers and get your award and all this, and it's a little bit like that Spinal Tap scene where they're backstage and they can't find the stage because it just seems to keep going, and you're just walking and walking, and you're, oh, there's Meryl Streep, and you remain on this sort of high for days afterwards. I think it hit me on the flight home the next day. I had the trophy in my carry-on bag, and I put it on the x-ray, and I'm watching the face of the woman at the x-ray machine, and she's watching, and then she goes, like one eyebrow, she's like, and then she just sends it on. I was like, okay, they've seen it all here. This is not a thing.